Hi, I'm Kerry. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors, and then I have another channel called Best of Us in Retirement. And in this channel, I speak about investing, and I'm a long-term investor. I'm not really concerned about what's happening today, interest rates, inflation. This isn't on my radar. My radar is one of who are the stocks that are going to change the way that we live, and how can I find those that are going to give me in my lifetime a 50x return. And I kind of like to see part of my portfolio in that direction. And then on a more shorter term, I'm looking for a 10x return with part of my portfolio. And that's what I want to talk about. And in that vein, I have right now a substantial amount of my portfolio in Tesla. I'm going to liquidate the major portion of it. And there are really, six reasons that I'm going to do that. And I want to go over those with you today. I know this won't be a popular video, particularly with Homer in Georgia. He's the guy who put me on to Tesla. And I have part of my shares that I have about a 320, 330 return, so a 3x return. And I've only held them, well, I guess, a little over a year. But I want to reposition the funds that I have in this portfolio in a more aggressive position. And I'm going to get the money to do that by selling Tesla. So what I want to do is give you the 6 reasons why I chose Tesla. And I'll be right back with you.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
First of all, I wanted to tell you that we have a tribe. We have a group of people that we share information that on our Discord. We analyze stocks. We talk about stocks, and you get a look at exactly what I hold. And I have one of the members of the tribe is very good, big believer, and he believes in the power of the tribe. His name is Colin George. And Colin contacted me about 4 months ago and said, Kerry, I'd like to help you write another book. I've got several books that I've written in the past. And so this is available. It's you'll find a link to it in the description. And it's all about the power of the tribe. Actually goes in and he interviews some people and how being a part of this tribe has changed their view on investing. But let's get to the 6 reasons. First of all, you got to remember that when you buy a stock, you need to understand who is the potential market, how big is the potential market, and how do they make their money. Well, the EV market is huge. It's all of us. Okay, it's all of us who drive internal combustion engines. But the reality of this is that 80% of it is in England, or excuse me, in Europe and China, while as 83% of it, while 15% of it is in the United States. So the bulk of this market is not in our backyard. Now, as far the numbers the other way around, as current share of market in the United States, Tesla controls 80% of the market, 80% of the cars. There aren't many other choices for an electric vehicle in the United States. Whereas in China, where 80% and Europe, Tesla controls 11% of the market. So I look at that and I say, okay, the potential of the market is not here. It's somewhere else. And that's where the competition is. But Tesla's doing well. In 2020, they grew their sales by 50%, while their revenues only increased by 14.5%. That's interesting. Okay, so the revenues or the sales are growing by 50%, and in fact, they hit, I believe it was 500 million sales, and they project in 2021 they'll hit 100. But their profits or their revenues are down. That's because of reason number 3. Reason number 2 is that kind of awakens me is that I'm finding that China is moving the steering wheel from their China produced cars from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. And that's because they're making more in China than they can sell, and they're shipping these cars to Europe. That wasn't the plan. And I suspect that they're building a plant in Berlin, I believe it is, in Germany, and that may change. But what they had expected to sell in China, they didn't sell. So they shipped them to Europe. Tesla is cutting prices. That's number 3, which would indicate that there is a slowing in demand. So they want to stimulate demand by cutting prices, and that competition is increasing. Sales grew, as I said, at 50%, while revenues dropped or grew only by 14%. So you had a 50% growth in sales, but your revenues didn't keep up with it because you're cutting prices. The Model X has been reduced by roughly $8,000, the Model S by $10,600, and the Model 3 by $2,000. The other thing that comes into it is, again, if we look at the primary market for this, and that's China, the sweet spot in China, price-wise, is lower than the price that China or that Tesla is marketing their automobiles. Their sweet spot is somewhere around $40,000. And the Chinese market, particularly a company by the name of BYD, is speaking to that market. They're making a car, and they're also a battery maker. I've done some videos on them in the past, and they're recognizing what the Chinese people want. And that's the other thing, I think, that if you dig even deeper, you find that some of the amenities or features of the car in the U.S. or the Tesla are geared towards U.S. buyers, and it's a total different culture over in China. So reason number 3 is they're cutting prices. Reason number 4, their battery day promises just aren't coming to pass. They don't make their own battery, and some of the claims that they said they would for their battery are still 3 years off. So we're not seeing what we're told is going to happen. We're also seeing, reason number 5, that return policies and used car warranties are disappearing or shrinking. And that's, again, I saw an interview with Joe Rogan was interviewing Elon Musk, and Joe said that he had bought a Tesla and he loved it, but he said, I just see problems with it. He said, I like that the seams on the hood aren't the same on the right as the left, and the car just isn't as tight as I thought it would be. And Elon's response was, well, you must have gotten one of the early production models, and it takes a while to iron those things out. No, I'm sorry. If I get spend $75,000 on an automobile, I don't expect to bring it back to the shop for you to iron some of the details out. Now, this is then reflected in Tesla's warranty claims. They're somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 to 20%. In China, the NIO, the Xpeng, and the BYD, they don't have any warranty claims. They're making better automobiles. And again, I've driven one. Just this last Tuesday, when I went to Boston. The hedge fund manager picked me up in a brand new Tesla, And I compared the interior of that Tesla to my BMW, which is 5 years old, and there's no comparison. My interior looks like a mean automobile. It growls at me. It says, "Take me as fast as you dare." Um, the Tesla, on the other hand, reminds me of an operating room. A big screen, which the BMW screen could be bigger, but it's not inviting. It doesn't it do, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he said, "Yeah, I bought a Tesla." And at the point, he says, "I haven't taken delivery of it." He was driving a Nissan. And I said, "What do you think about the interiors of your Nissan compared to your new Tesla?" He said, quite honestly, he said, "Kerry, if I had my way, I'd take the interior from my Nissan and I'd put it in the Tesla, because the Tesla interior is disappointing." So to that end, and when I drove the Tesla, I was like a giddy little girl. And I thought, this is phenomenal. And I'll look past the interior. But now I'll wait for BMW or Mercedes to give me what I want. I want an electric car. I want that performance. I want that battery underneath me. I'm not sure I want the battery that Tesla has, but I might prefer the battery that BYD makes. And you can see that. I did a video on BYD on November the 14th. And then I did one as a part of the interview I did with Snowball Capital on June the 24th. So you can get more information on BYD. So what's the sixth reason why I'm going to sell Tesla stock? I learned this morning that Panasonic, who makes Tesla's battery, is liquidating their holdings. In fact, they already had. They had 1.4 million shares that they had bought at an average of $21.15, and they sold every one of them. This is the manufacturer of their battery who just liquidated. Now, the article said that they were raising capital for some research and development, but this is one of their major suppliers who just bailed completely. So with those six reasons, that's why I'm selling my Tesla stock. The other avenue that I want to just kind of explore with you is that this money that I'm raising, I'm looking for a 10x return in the next 5 to 10 years. Do I believe Tesla at selling today at $680 is going to turn into a $6,800 stock in the next 5 to 10 years? No, I don't. I don't. Do I believe BYD, who is the largest manufacturer of electric vehicles in the world and batteries in the world, and has a nail test battery, that is one you can drive a nail through it and it won't explode and it won't fire. That's not true of Panasonic and everybody else's batteries. But it's selling at $30 a share today. Could it get to $300 within 5 to 10 years? Yeah, I suspect it will. Then I've got NIO. That's my other EV holding of China, and it's at $45 a share. Do I believe it is potentially a $450 stock in 5 to 10 years? Yeah, I do. You should see the inside of a NIO or the inside of BYD's car and compare it to what Tesla looks like. It's like what you expect in a luxury automobile. It's not like a Tesla. So to my way of thinking, I know we're all wrapped up in the enthusiasm, and certainly we're wrapped up in Elon's personality. You don't know who the manufacturer of BYD or who the CEO of BYD. He doesn't twit, or he doesn't show up on YouTube being interviewed. He doesn't have the personality, and neither does the people as I say, BYD or NIO. So there's a lot of the reason why we're so sold on Tesla is Elon. There is just no doubt. But understand, we represent 15% of the market. China represents, and Europe, 80%. And that's what you gotta, if you're in this as an investor, you gotta look past the momentum trade that's happening here and determine what in fact is what's going to happen. Now I know you're saying, well, Tesla is an energy company. They make 6% of their revenues off of energy. It may be in the future, but the future of the EV market is in China. The future, again, we have a population of 350 million. They have 1.2 billion people. That's 4 times. If they then gain exposure in India, that has 1.2 billion people, you got to understand that. So that again is why I'm not going to totally liquidate. I'm going to continue to hold the shares that I've got a 3x in and go for the ultimate 5x, but I just don't think it's going to get me there. So that's my take on it. And I know that really is against some of your, it's going to raise some emotional feelings in some of you, but that's really a problem if you're an investor. If you're emotionally tied to a company that all the information I just gave you doesn't mean a damn thing to you, that the fact they have 4 times the population, they have a bigger air problem, environmental problem, and the government is helping people buy these China-made cars. If you can't get past that, then I'm sorry. But the other thing I think you need to recognize is they're in the car business. Do you realize in 1929 there were 1,900 car manufacturers in the United States? Okay? In 2008 there were 3. They were Chrysler, they were GM, and they were Ford. Tesla might have been on the verge there. One of them went bankrupt. That was General Motors. The government had to come in and bail them out. They couldn't pay their pensions to their union employees, so the government took over their pension plan, which screwed the past employees. They only get 75% of what they were promised. Why did that happen? Because it's not a profitable business. You buy cars by what you look, the model, what it looks, but when it comes down to it, it's price. And if you can get a better price on a Dodge Ram or a Chevy whatever, you're going to buy it rather than that Ford. And that's what's going to happen in the EV market. It's going to be a price-oriented, and nobody makes any money in the car business. Look at Ford. Why is it stock? Why isn't it up at $600 a share? Because they don't make any money. And this business will go the same way. It's new. When I was a senior in college, I went to Zales. You don't even know who Zales is. It was a Kmart, a Target, Walmart type store, and I paid $99 for my first calculator, and all it could do was add, subtract, divide, and multiply. $99. That's what do you get a calculator now? At one point, Exxon was giving that same calculator away for a fill-up of gas. That item is now a giveaway. You need to recognize that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm advising my tribe by virtue of this. And again, what is a tribe? Look at this book. You'll find it on Amazon, and there's a link down here. We help each other. We have 3 goals, clearly stated. Make good investment decisions based on information. I just did 3 videos with an interview with a hedge fund. Most informative videos you'll ever see if you really want to be an investor. My tribe will, I hope, absorb those videos and become a better investor. Number 2, keep more of what you make. Understand the tax code and how to hold your investments and how to minimize taxes. If you'll do that, you'll get to keep more of what you make. And then 3rd, accumulate family wealth. The federal government says that Nita and I, when we die, we can currently pass on just under $24 million onto our heirs, estate tax-free. Well, why shouldn't we do it? That should be a goal. It's on my bathroom mirror. Pass $24 million onto your heirs. Why not? They'll let me do it, so why don't I take advantage of it? Do I think I'll get it done? It's a stretch. I may need a few more years, but that's why I take my MNN, because it extends. It's a life enhancer, or in many regards. All right, that's my video for today. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.